These are the 10 best fitness games and apps for the Meta Quest 3 that you don't want to miss out on. So let's dive right into it. Starting off this list with probably the most popular one, known as Les Mills Body Combat. Now in here, you will be dodging and punching your way through some intense workouts, all while being motivated by actual instructors that try to push you to your limits. But best of all is that compared to many other fitness apps, once you got this one, you will have access to the entire base game. So luckily no monthly subscriptions here. Although, they do have the option for some paid DLC if you want to get even more out of it. But overall, this is definitely one of the must-have fitness apps if you want to burn some quick calories. And that comes without the say that it also has over 4,500 reviews that have an average score of 4.5 stars on the Meta Quest Store. Oh, and a nice extra is that there is the possibility to get a free trial so that you can check it out before you buy it. But that gets us to the second one, which is none other than home sports. Now, unlike your standard workouts, this one is instead a collection of different sports that you can play from the comfort of your own living room. And that goes from pickleball to hockey and so much more. But what makes it even better is that you can invite up to 3 other friends to join you either locally or online. And in that way, you can compete against each other to the last one standing. Or you can also just choose to play it solo with their integrated career mode. But since it is still quite new, it only has 251 reviews at the moment with an average score of 4.2 stars. And it is also good to keep in mind that this is primarily making use of mixed reality. So that means that every sport you try out will automatically be adjusted to your own play space. But of course, the more room you have available, the better your experience. And that gets us to the third one, which is FitXR. And this is probably the most downloaded fitness VR application of all time. Because while it has some similarities to the previously mentioned Les Mills Body Combat, in FitXR, you will also be able to do many other workouts, like boxing and strength for example, or even Zumba, making this, for a lot of people, their ultimate fitness app. But while it sure does deserve its praise with its massive 12,300 reviews and a score of 4.1 stars, the downside is that you can only use it with their monthly subscriptions, and those can get pretty expensive over time. Now, of course, for some users that want to replace it with their own gym subscription, these costs might actually be lower. But I do still recommend to always use their 7-day free trial first before you make a final decision. But that gets us to number 4, which is known as All-in-One Sports. And with its title probably already saying enough, this app lets you choose from a massive list of different sports that you can instantly dive into inside virtual reality. But since the graphics and interactions are actually very intuitive, it kind of feels like the old school Wii Sports, but then specifically made for VR. And that also means that while most of these sports are just really fun, you will be sweating like crazy without even noticing it. And since this app has already been out for quite some time, it somehow only got 582 reviews, but it did manage to get a 4.4 stars rating on average, making this a real hidden gem that is definitely worth your time. But that gets us to number 5, which is Power Beats VR. Because here, you will be enjoying some awesome music while you smash your targets and squat or dodge the obstacles that come your way. But what makes it stand out from all the other similar titles is that in this one, you can actually import your own music and auto-generate a workout based on those songs. And if you want, then you can also dive deeper and just see things specifically from within it, so that in the end, the workouts itself can really be tweaked to your own liking. And on top of that, it also has a pretty high score of 4.6 stars and a total of 968 reviews, making it a good option when you want to get out some energy while listening to your own favorite beats. But before we get to the next 5 must-have VR fitness apps, as well as some bonus ones at the end that you don't want to miss, let's have a quick word from the company that made this video possible. Because none other than Cat VR, who are known to create VR treadmills that look like they come straight out of Ready Player One, are taking VR once again to the next level. Because while we normally are limited by the space and boundary system inside our virtual reality experiences, it is Cat VR that has been creating VR treadmills that let you run, crouch, and jump without any limitation. And since their most recent version, that is known as the C2 Core, is compatible with nearly every headset, it is often also considered as the dream upgrade for any VR setup. And they even go so far that for those hardcore fans, they also have high-end models that include things like haptic feedback or a vehicle hub, making it feel even more realistic, like riding on a horse inside VR. And as a cherry on top, you can also use the code VRelity for a $130 discount on your entire purchase. So for those who are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. And that gets us to number 6, which is the brand new title known as Fitness Fables. Now this unique experience tries to combine fitness with some fun and intense gameplay, which basically means that your workouts will be turned into story-driven quests with over 80 levels and lots of crazy boss fights. But since it also has a big variety of exercises that will be done, like for example power squats or even climbing, it kind of feels similar to Ring Fit Adventure from the Nintendo Switch. Although, do keep in mind that this is the newest title on this list, and because of that, at the moment, it only has 87 reviews. However, it does manage to score 4.6 stars on average. But it also means that you can still expect some bugs and glitches here and there that with future updates from the developers will definitely be fixed. And that gets us directly to the budget option on number 7, which is Punch Fit, the MR edition. Because while this application might be a lot less flashy when it comes to the gameplay, it is still a great option if you want to get a good workout inside VR. Because in here, you will simply be punching the targets that flash right in front of you, all while you're trying to rank up the highest score. But while this app actually used to be free, they now bumped it up to $6 after one of their more recent updates. And with their 310 reviews that score it at 4.7 stars, I still think it is a great option when you're on a budget. But that gets us to number 8, which is Les Mills XR Dance. Now while this one is much less popular than the Les Mills Body Combat, it can still be a great alternative for those who rather dance as part of their workout. Because in here, you will find many different styles, from jam to club and even pop. And since it has over 40 routines and real dancers that will show you how to move, you are sure to have some fun while you're grooving to the different tunes. But compared to the other apps on this list, this one only has 181 reviews and a lower overall score of 4 stars. So keep that in mind. But that gets us to number 9, which is Thrill of the Fight 2. Now this title, as well as its prequel, are massively popular and are also most commonly known as the best boxing simulators that you can get. However, because it was still in early access, a lot of the main features like single player mode weren't available yet on launch. And that caused it to get a lot of bad reviews early on, with over 6,700 of them only giving it a 3.5 stars on average. But that might not have been well placed, since the game development is still in full swing. So knowing that, this is still a fantastic VR boxing game that truly has the potential of becoming one of the greatest virtual reality experiences once everything is unlocked. And also, since it is still in early access, at the time of recording, it only costs $6, making this definitely a must-have. But on number 10, we have XR Workout free-to-play VR Fitness. And this one is for those who really want a full body workout. Because in here, you'll be doing push-ups, burpees, and much more. And additionally, the experience itself will also make use of hand tracking instead of your controllers. So in that way, you will completely forget that you're inside VR in the first place. But by far the best part is that you can actually play it for free. Although only for a limited time though. And that means in reality that you can get an 8-minute workout per day before you hit a paywall. And with an overall score of 4 stars from its 308 reviews, I definitely think it is still worth trying out, even just for its free features. But that gets us to the bonus ones, with the first one being none other than Fun Fitland. Now this one has all the basics that you come to expect from a VR fitness game, with its many different game modes and options to choose from. But while it used to be free, it sadly isn't anymore. However, they do still have a 15-day free trial, so you can at least try it out. Which gets us to the second bonus one, and that is of course Beat Saber. Because not only is this easily one of the most popular VR games of all time, it is also a great way to burn some calories while you're smashing blocks on some awesome tunes. But that gets us to the third bonus, which is Supernatural. Because while this one has all the ingredients to make it one of the top VR fitness apps for anyone, at the moment it is sadly only available in the United States and Canada. And that while all the other apps on this list are of course available worldwide. But that's not all, because there are also a lot of must-have VR apps and experiences that aren't games and that you need to try on your Meta Quest 3. So click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out. And of course, stay awesome.